Welcome to what we are now calling the main Slate Mashup, hosted by SLD Season-Long DFS. I'm Jamie, and I am, as per usual, joined by Rich Kingy King, his beautiful little face, and Liam. How are you boys doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, we'll answer at the same time. That's how
it works around here.
Liv, you go first, mate.
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Yeah, just life of a uni student pretty much this final year. So yeah, it's busy as always.
So basically just drinking then.
Well, I wish I was, but unfortunately not with COVID and all that.
Terrible.
Oh, do you remember being a student, Rich?
Yeah.
How long ago?
It was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm old. I'll be honest with you. I think going forward, we just move past asking Liam how he is, because he just lives just a completely different life to us. You know, he's just where am I going to get my next beer from? Here I am. Mortgage, pension, 2 kids. It's just a different world.
I know, mate. I've only got one, and that's enough. You've got all of that to come, Liam. Good luck, mate. Good luck. Right, let's get straight on. Let's not mess around. Let's have a look at the leaderboard for the season-long DFS competition for year 2. I want to go down and start from the bottom.
I like that.
Let's just not do that.
Oh, you broke the 1,000-point mark, Rich.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You did. You are in 37th position. What's happened, Rich? Are you going to have to change your pre-lineup, pre-reserve kind of strategy?
Yeah. I mean, I think at this point, I'm just going to start swinging for the fences, just to try and get a big week. In there. I don't really know what to say.
It can get better.
Yeah,
I'm expecting a lot more from you, Rich, because you are a fountain of fantasy and DFS knowledge.
Well, fountain is something.
Right, so you've got 1,000 points in 37th. You've got Jack, who's just above you with 1,028. If we scroll up, we've got PT at 1,100. Ben Rolfe is 1,105, so he's about 100 points ahead of you.
That's right. So I'm now not going to compare myself with Ben, because I'm not sure if you guys know, but I know he broke it on his podcast. He's now, let's just have a moment to congratulate him. He's now a full-time writer for.
Well done.
Congratulations.
For PFN. So congratulations. But now that does mean he's professional. So it's unfair, really, isn't it?
Not really, because he's
Jamie,
only
let me have this.
I'll stop.
Okay.
Keep going.
Let me have this. That's fine. So really, as he's professional, probably should really half what he scores. In which case, I'm winning. So.
Okay, I do like what kind of where you're going with that. That's interesting. A bit of a reach, but we'll let you have it. We will let you have it.
Appreciated.
That's no problem. We've got Tim again on 1,005 points. We've got a couple of people fairly close around that number. Scrolling up, we've got Johnny at 1,113. We've got Adam at touchdown tips at 1,203. And then if we just go to second place, Liam.
Sitting pretty.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Self and new top 2.
It's a good,
not too bad.
Good score, mate. 1,282.
Yeah, I'm happy with that season's going. The Tennessee let me down last week, massively.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is. Not too bad.
Did you not have Dalvin Cook in your lineup?
No. I should have, actually, because obviously you spoke him up on the last episode, and turned out to do pretty well, didn't he?
He turned out to save my bloody week. So I got 151 last week, and Dalvin got like 50 points for it at least.
Yeah,
Poor then.
yeah,
Pretty poor.
Yeah, I'm pretty poor, but yeah, I'm still first.
yeah. The Dolphins defense came through for me this week.
Yeah, Dolphins defense did amazing for you, mate. You were massively high on them.
Yeah, well, we talked about it, didn't we? And it made sense, so I'm glad it paid off.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got the top two on the podcast. So I think there's a bit of pressure on us, mate.
A little bit.
And
Yeah,
and obviously Rich, and obviously Rich is doing far better than Ben is.
Yeah. But
Yes, yeah.
You guys, you've got it all to lose. Like, exactly. I feel as though you guys are right at the top of the game. You know, you're the Kansas City Chiefs. So much expectation on you. Me, I'm like the Washington football team. If I turn up on time, that's like a win.
I'll be honest, mate. It's really, really nice being near the top, but
it's convenient.
It's fuck off.
It's convenient.
This again.
Anyone can check back on the scores. They are properly legit. Don't worry about that.
No one can be bothered. That's the thing. That's
all there.
It's called our bluff. No one cares.
I bet you Liam would. There's Liam now looking. He's checking. But I'm trying to work out at what point I get to if I'm I don't know, maybe next week I start playing pussy ball, where I'm playing the safe players because I don't want to lose. You're shaking your head at me.
Just grow a pair.
Oh mate, it's good fun. It's been good so far.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
And so we got 40 this year. I'd like a load more next year, and try and mix things up. Which I had a couple of ideas on. I think on our first ever episode, our first ever video. Can you even remember what you suggested, Rich? About having like no, you have no idea. Do you? You remember the kind of like you have a bonus week or something where you get double point or something.
Yeah, I thought this would be good. Like like they do in fancy Premier League stuff where you get like this
triple
week,
captain,
a wild card or something. Yeah,
like I want double points this week. You know, I mean, for me, probably wouldn't help because I don't know what double like 20 points is. Probably not going to help, but
you'd probably think it was 32 or something.
Yeah, for you guys at the top, just helps you stretch out that win.
I'm not going to lie. I would have, or at least maybe you could do 2 players during the whole season on your team. You could say I want double points from something like that.
Yeah,
we'll that will be something for next year. So that will be something to look forward to. But let's move on and get on to why most people are watching and listening to this video / podcast, which is the insight from you boys and kind of just me. No one gives a shit what I think. I said Darren Waller was the player of the week last week.
Well, he should have been.
That worked out well. That worked out really well. Let's go on to high priced, kind of our high priced players. QBs, Rich, you start us off with your high priced QBs you like.
Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the only game that Texans have actually won this year was against Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And in that game,
he played very, very well in that game.
Yeah. So for me, it has to be Deshaun Watson for me.
Yeah.
High price.
Yeah. Anyone else, or is it just Deshaun for you?
For me, it's just Deshaun. I don't want anyone else. Maybe Russell Wilson. But...
Is there not a worry with you with Watson that they get ahead really early and just run the ball?
No, they've got
No.
They've got David Johnson who struggles to run the ball.
What about Duke?
Have I touched a nerve there, Rich? With David Johnson.
I don't want to talk about it now.
What about you, Liam? Who you like in QB wise high price?
Yeah, Russell Wilson, as Rich mentioned. It's kind of hard to avoid him, I suppose. You know, averaging 32 DK points a game, taking on Buffalo, who aren't defensively well last year, and he just goes off every game pretty much, no matter what the defense. So it's kind of hard to ignore him. I won't say the next one in case you've got him on your list, Jamie.
Yeah, I've got Watson was on my list for certain because I do love myself a bit of Sean. My guy is a young man called Justin Herbert. He's 6,800, going against the Raiders. I said last week I think the Raiders D is one of the worst in the league, if not the worst. They're horrible. They're not a good defense, and Herbert is balling the hell out at the moment. I think I don't mind the price. If 6,800, would I want to pay 300 more for Watson? Potentially. But yeah, I think Herbert could go bananas this week. Literally bananas. What do you boys think about Herbert this week?
Yeah, I mean he's pretty consistent, right? And I think that's kind of what you're paying up for now. But yeah, I like the matchup, and Las Vegas never been good at defending the pass, and if he keeps playing as he is, then yeah, that's a nice price, and it's a nice player. So yeah, not too bad.
Cool. Rich, you just gonna. Do you want to move on to running backs, or do you not like Herbert this week?
I like Herbert.
That's all we need. That's all I need.
Go. Let's move on.
Let's just move on.
Oh, before we move on, I will say I do like Josh Allen as well, 7K. Just as a bounce back game, obviously against Seattle. He's actually got John Brown back now. He's played a few weeks. Typically, when he's had John Brown, he's played better. And we don't need to mention the Seattle defense. It's a joke, quite frankly. It
showed up a bit last week. It was improved. I'm not saying Josh Allen is a good. You're hoping he's going to run around a bit as well.
It's a nice pivot, I'd say.
Yeah,
I feel like saying it was improved is like saying like you only burnt one house this week. Like it's still not great. It's just
it's good if you're an arsonist.
True. Facts. That's what you come for.
Well, let's be honest. The Hawks' defense couldn't have been any worse.
No.
Yeah.
So let's say it as that. Right, running backs. Liam, start us off.
Your guy from last week, Dalvin Cook's top of my list.
Oh, I love Dalvin. Thank you for last week, Dalvin. What was it? 50 points, I think. 51 points.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to ignore him, right? And going against Detroit, who really aren't a good defense themselves against the run. 32.6 DK points a game to the position.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know who's playing, Chase Daniel or Matt Stafford, but I think either way it'll be a shootout. And I quite like Cook to control the game once again. And he's my top guy anyway on the top of the list.
Anybody else? Or was it just Dalvin?
Well, I don't know if you guys could have mentioned him. So I'll leave it for now.
Okay, let's go on. Rich. Fill us with insight. Who is it?
It's a slightly cheaper, expensive option.
Yes.
But James Conner.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a nice pick. I like that.
Yes.
Like I just feel bad for whoever's going to be a quarterback. It's just not going to be a fun game for them, for Dallas. So I think Pittsburgh are just going to dominate this from start to finish. And I said this week I'm kind of down on Ben Roethlisberger because I don't think he's going to have to do anything. They're just going to say, here you go. We're just going to run the ball every single play because we don't need to pass it because we just don't need to. So, yeah.
No, I've got Cook and Connor that I really like this week. My other guy will be CEH.
Okay.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire. 6,100 going against the Panthers, who we all know can't stop the run to save their life.
Yeah, see, my issue with that is I'm just so worried about his lack of touchdowns. We spoke about it yesterday on Kickers Matter when we were talking about how we deem these guys' values. And I just have this funny feeling that Bell might even be the play because I feel like they'll use Clyde Edwards-Helaire right to the red zone, and then Le'Veon Bell he'll end up with a Mike Gillislee game where it'll be 20 yards and 4 touchdowns, something like that.
Yeah, but if he, I see exactly where you're coming from on that. For me, I just think 6,100 is a little bit cheap going against the Panthers, who are literally just absolute garbage. There's his 61. So the Panthers are what? They're allowed 125 yards. The thing with the Chiefs is you're either going to get beaten by Mahomes or you get beaten by CH and Bell. And I think it all depends what the Panthers do defensively against Mahomes. We saw what the Jets did. The Jets went after Mahomes and he just tore them to bits. I think the Panthers might kind of, I don't want to say ease up on him, but you won't see that many blitzes, which potentially could open up the running lanes. But I like the price. I think this is a real upside play where, yes, he could go 50 yards and nothing, and Bell could see 2 or 3 touchdowns, but he could smash up another 161 yards, and then you're hoping for a touchdown there.
Yeah, I feel this is like a GBP play more than a cash game.
Yeah.
So.
Agreed.
We haven't mentioned him, so I'll mention him.
Yeah.
Chase Edmonds for me is another one. 6,800. Obviously, Drake's been ruled out now, so it's his backfield. And Miami is got kryptonite against running backs, essentially. 26.3 DK points per game they give up to it at the running back position, which is joint 8th worst in the league. And, Amazon are a running team. They don't really pass it apart from to Hopkins most of the time. With Edmonds' pass catching ability, as we saw last week, with as you can see on the screen, 7 receptions for 87 yards. I don't like him this week, and it's a nice price for me.
Do you know what we spoke about Jonathan Taylor last week?
Oh, you think it's a trap?
I'm not saying I totally think it's a trap, but it kind of feels like it might be one.
Okay, interesting.
I don't think Edmonds is as good as everyone kind of portrays him to be.
Yeah, Jamie's getting ready for Benjamin.
No, he's not on my list. He could go off on this, but he's going to be asked to do a lot more work than 5 rushes. And So, do you know what I mean? I think they will add. They potentially will ease Benjamin in for a couple of snaps, a couple of runs maybe. But I'm interested to see. I'm starting him in my fantasy teams I've got. I would have liked him a little bit cheaper. What is he? 68. Yeah,
68.
I would have liked him just a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I was wondering.
I think if you were around the 6,100 mark, I think that's fair.
It's not really how it works, Jamie.
I know. Well, it works like that for me because I might have him in a lineup or two, but he's not one of my smash plays. But if Darren Waller was a smash play, don't listen to me. Anybody else, or are we happy to move on to wide receivers?
Happy to move on.
Lovely. Right, I'll go first. Keenan Allen, 7,000 going up against the Raiders.
I knew you were going to say Keenan Allen. As soon as you said Herbert was your quarterback, I was like,
yeah. Makes sense, don't it?
It really does. But all he does is see targets. Tampa Bay saw 11 targets. Jacksonville he saw 13. Denver he saw 12. He's not a touchdown machine. He's got 2 in his last 4, but he's the safety blanket for Herbert. And as I said, the Raiders defense is absolutely garbage. So they might be one of my stacks later on. Who knows? Rich, what have we got, mate?
Stephon Diggs is probably the guy that I'm probably going to pay up for.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think this is as Liam mentioned with Josh Allen, I think this is probably a get-right game for Buffalo. They started out the season really well, and it's not like his targets are not there. I think he's waiting for one of those massive games that you see where he has a ridiculous fantasy points total. And I think it's going to be this game against Seattle.
Well, I think he's the highest, the most targeted receiver in the league so far through 8 weeks. I believe.
Over Allen?
I think so. Rich is about to tell me. I can see that little glint in his face.
I'm about to.
So Alan's like 31%, isn't he? Something like that.
I think. I swear, Diggs is.
He is correct. Stefan Diggs has
Wow.
79 targets on the season, and Amari Cooper and Allen Robinson have 77. Keenan Allen has 75.
Amari Cooper got 77 targets.
Yeah,
That's
not good
very
targets.
nice. Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't. I like Diggs this week.
Yeah.
Against the Seahawks, who are questionable defensively. Let's put it that way. What's his price been doing the last couple of weeks? It's been going up, hasn't it? So it's what's his price this week?
74.
74. So it's jumped 600 since last week. Sizable jump. Liam, who have you got?
Tyler Lockett, 6,800.
I knew that was coming.
So cheap. Don't know why it's this cheap. Whenever we see a Metcalf week and a Lockett down week, it's the complete opposite the next week. And Buffalo are terrible against the slot. They're giving up 100+ games to Crowder and Cup in the slot, and Lockett's a slot guy. If I'm going with Wilson, I've got to go with either Lockett or Metcalf in my stacking essentially, and
it's Lockett, isn't it?
It makes too much sense to not play him.
Love me a bit of Tyler. Do love me a bit of Tyler. You boys got anybody else?
No.
Oh, one. Okay, I've got one more, and it might be a bit of a homer pick, but this is. I don't say it's dependent on if a player's out, because it's not really. It's Julio.
Yes, nice pick.
Going against Denver at 7,200. I saw a stat on Twitter that I can't remember it precisely, so I'm just going to try and guess similar to what it was. And it said, yeah, that's what I do, I guess, mate. And it was along the lines that the amount of targets that Julio sees when Calvin Ridley isn't playing it's ridiculous. It is silly ridiculous. And obviously Ridley's questionable, so if he's out, then this play I'm a lot more confident on it. But it's Julio. We're at home. Denver, they've been okay. They play pretty, in fact, better than okay. They play pretty well defensively. They kind of middle of the pack passing defense, 255. As DraftKings is telling me there. But yeah, it's Julio Jones. You just play him, really, don't you? He's just ridiculous, and he might even get you a touchdown if you're lucky.
Yeah, hard to argue with that, really. To be honest.
Right.
Just don't argue when it comes to Julio and Jamie. Just let him talk.
Just leave it alone.
I debated not putting him in there, but it's Julio, so I have to. Tight ends. Do you know what? I'm going to start at tight ends, and I'm going to be like a broken record. My tight end is Darren Waller. I'm going back to the well. Last week he made me look like an absolute tit, which isn't very hard. Let's be honest, is it, lads? You're supposed to say, but you're not. It's fine. No, don't be silly.
I can't lie.
Yeah, I know. He's 5,800 going against the Chargers. This Chargers defense isn't great. I expect there to be quite a few points in this game. The weather last week, I think, it screwed him and any kind of chance of getting a relatively good points total. So Darren Waller for me this week. Liam, what about you, mate?
In terms of Spencer guys, the only guy I like is Waller. I do pay down for tight end typically, and this week is a paying down week for me.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, same here. What about you, Rich? Who's your high price? Is it Darren Waller?
Yeah, like I typically like spending like I'm going to say Waller. Let's go. I'll go.
It's the only option really.
Let's just say Travis Kelce, just because no one's mentioned him. And, if you're going to spend up big.
No. He's done all right this year.
Not too bad.
I just don't like paying up at tight end.
No, I'm not a massive fan of it. There's plenty of value to be had later down.
Yeah, I don't know if Noah Fant would maybe count as an expensive one because he's towards the top of the position.
We could. Let's add it.
Noah Fant's probably worth a look against Atlanta.
Yep.
I think Fant could have a good game.
I think anyone can really have a good game against Falcons. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it.
Mate, just be honest. Just be honest. That's the best way to be. I'm going to say let's go on to defense, but if we haven't all got the same defense,
that's expensive.
Yeah,
uber expensive. I believe I saw that it's the most expensive defense that DraftKings have ever had.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Are we all saying the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually got a few bets on them to win 2-0. So yeah.
Ooh.
So that's how confident I am in the Steelers. Getting big point title this week.
So you hoping that Greg the Leg takes, has a dodgy hammy?
Well, are they even going to get to past the 40-yard line of the opposition's half? I don't know, to be honest, because their quarterbacks are shocking. So
special teams play. Watch. There'll be some special teams play. Get into the 30-yard mark. They'll get back to the 40-yard mark because Steelers are sacking them all out, and then Greg the Leg, bang.
I'll take my chances.
3 points. Liam starts crying.
Yep.
That's only a small stake. I don't match too much.
That's all right then. Yeah, we're all going for the Steelers.
Yeah.
Let's not mess this. Yeah. Let's not fuck around with that. Right, let's go to our kind of value priced players. I don't want to call them low because they're not all low, but I'm going to call them value. Rich, hit me with your value price QBs.
Drew Lock, 5,200.
Yeah, he kind of worried me a little bit. I was like, I like the look of him, and I was like,
I feel like it's a stick. It's like one of those where I'm like, yeah, no, he's really good to pay and you'll save a lot of money. And I'm like, why is that cheap?
He's shit.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. Atlanta's great.
You said it. I didn't say that. You said that.
I mean, no one's ever said that. I just think it's more facing up against Atlanta. I mean, they've given up 28.8 DK points per game this season. Yeah. It's more the matchup than the player, and that price, I think you can do some fun things elsewhere.
Are you going to get the 7 quarters of shite or the 1 quarter of good that he's played in the last 2 games, though? And let's be honest, he's
4 quarters of good.
Okay. I like your confidence.
Yeah.
Well,
I think at the price,
3.5 quarters of good, the price is so great that he doesn't actually need to do that much.
The price with the matchup is very, very appealing. I will agree with that. Liam, what about you, mate?
Yeah, back to well with Derek Carr for me, 5,700. I felt he did okay in the wind last week. Obviously, they ran the ball a hell of a lot. I think it was 31 attempts to Jacobs or something ridiculous. Yeah. But yeah, it's only against the Chargers Jamie's the opposite, played with Herbert. He got the 4th most points to QBs, 24.4 a game. And he's quite consistent, and I was liking to get back on track this week against the Chargers.
I totally agree on Derek Carr. I really do. I'm going to shut one out here, which is quite interesting.
Jake Luton, wow.
Or as Americans like to call him, Jake Luton.
Luton.
What is he, 48? He's 4,900 going against the Texans. If I want some, I prefer to play Drew Lock at 50. His price is 52, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that. But Jake Luton could be absolutely anything. Literally.
Complete wild card.
Total wild card on this. And I think if you're going to try and kind of shoot for the stars in the lineup this week, he could take you there.
He could take you somewhere, definitely.
But yeah, it's one of those, we don't know. We haven't got a clue, but it's starting quarterback at that price. If you want to take a punt and save, then, and the Texas defense isn't great. So who knows? I think it's an interesting one. Plus you stole Carr, so he was my backup. Right, let's go on to running backs. I'll go running backs. I am going to go with Justin Jackson.
Yeah, that's my guy as well.
Yeah. I've seen him the last couple of games, and I think he's looked really good. Against Jacksonville, he was coming off an injury, and they didn't seem to use him a huge amount. But last week, 17 carries for 89 yards, three receptions for 53. I think he looks good. I don't think Kelly is what they want. He's the running back one for me there, while Eckler's out, and yeah, it's the Raiders defense again. So
yeah,
anybody hate him or
no? He's one of my players, so yeah, like it.
Cool. Rich, who have you got, mate?
I assume I can't just say that I love David Johnson because
You can. You can.
Okay, I love David Johnson.
So you love David Johnson. Is that the reason why you're gonna? He's any particular apart from the fact that you're undenying love for him.
This matchup is going to be pretty smash for them. He
Tasty.
performed well against them previously, and I just think he's one of these guys who's going to be solid at your running back position. So if you want to spend up big at wide receiver, and we mentioned some big wide receiver targets and some quarterback targets, like David Johnson's going to allow you to kind of solidify your running back position to some degree.
Yeah.
You're not needing a lot from him at this price. So that's kind of where I am with it.
Cool. Solid enough, mate. Liam, what have you got?
Yes, apart from Jackson, I will mention Patrick Laird at Stoneman, 4K. Obviously, no Matt Breida and no Gaskins. He's on IR. And Laird last season, when he was in, did see a lot of pass catching work. So obviously, with DraftKings scoring, point per reception, if he sees 7 to 8 receptions, which he saw comfortably last season, you could easily see about double-digit points from him, which at Stoneman is actually really good value. So not much two numbers behind this pick. It's just me watching the Dolphins every week and seeing how they play. So yeah, I'd give Laird a go if you need a guy at Stoneman who you want to throw a dart at, essentially.
Can you imagine having to watch the Dolphins every week?
I know, it's great. Did you watch this last week?
No.
Oh, well, missing a
I was going to think of something funny, but then it's funny just to say no.
We've got Carla this week, so you might watch us this week.
Has anybody got any others?
No.
I've got some that I'm kind of meh about. So
pick one of them.
J.K. Dobbins.
You're meh on Dobbins.
Yeah, he's a meh.
Yeah, he's just meh because he's cheap. But I mean, the matchup is awful. You're just going to be hoping that he just gets receptions, I think, and just pray that he does something. I mean, the attempts are there. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't really want to do it, but
I'm going to say about the matchup. The matchup last week was awful. 15 for 113 on the ground.
Yeah.
The Ravens team are a running team. I don't think, for me, the matchup isn't as important as it would be for, I don't know, someone like the Falcons or something. The Falcons will come against Indy, then
true.
Horrendous. I think.
How's this happening? I've mentioned him and you're somewhat talking me into him. This is weird.
No, because
this is a weird situation.
I'm about to flip the switch and tell you I thought about J.K. Dobbins, and then I went
Gus Edwards.
I went with the running back one there at the moment, Gus Edwards. They're both
around Lamar Jackson. Okay.
They're both around the same price. J.K. Dobbins is going to be the pass catching back, and we mentioned this on the Kickers Out pod yesterday. Gus Edwards is the goal line back, so I think with Lamar Jackson, obviously. I don't think you're going to go wrong on either of them. I think they're both going to see the same amount of touches. Maybe Dobbins might see a couple more due to receiving, but at 48 and 4,900, I don't think they're too bad. And here's one that I thought about, mainly because of the matchup. Any thoughts on Benny Snell?
I mean, if they're going with what you think in terms of running the ball as much as the Raiders did last week, then it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just. What is it? He's 4,000. He's vultured some touchdowns the last couple of weeks. I think if the Steelers get up big, which they potentially will do, I think they might just pull Connor. Why risk him when you can just chuck Benny Snell in the game for the second half or the fourth quarter or whatever? But again, that's kind of you're predicting what's going to happen, and that's a very, very dangerous game. Watch the Cowboys win now.
Yeah.
Where are we at wide receiver, gents? Rich?
Brandon Cooks.
I can't go there again.
Yep, I've got Brandon Cooks as well.
Brandon Cooks is one. I quite like matchup again. He did, when he balled out, it was against Jacksonville. He's definitely worth consideration. I mean,
yeah,
he's 5,500. So I still think the price is really, really nice.
Yeah, it's quite.
He's seen 9 and 12 targets the last 3 games. So
yeah, so again, it's that matchup thing. I'm not saying that he'll have the exact same game that he did against Jacksonville, but I mean, I think this wide receiver call will ball out to some degree.
Yeah.
So yeah, Brandon Cooks is one of my cheap guys. I've actually got another one.
Oh, go on, Em.
Chenault.
Ah,
okay.
I mentioned it, same game. I don't know what it is, but I just feel as though he's going to have a good game here. He had a decent game against them in week 5, as you can see on screen.
Do you know why he did though? This is it, because DJ Chark didn't have a great game. He was shadowed by Bradley Roby, who's a pretty good defensive back. He's been a bit on and off this year, but he was shadowed by Chark, and Chark was kept quiet, and that's why I think Chenault had a good game against Houston, and I really quite like this selection here, Rich.
Thanks. I mean, you've not said that on any of the others. Does that mean that the others are just like shocking?
No.
It's weird. I like this one.
No, I'd totally forgotten about that the thing that I heard about Bradley Roby shadowing DJ Chark, and obviously with a rookie QB, I think he'd be a bit dodgy. So Chenault could have another good game. You'd be happy with something similar to what he had against Houston last time. What, 7 for 79?
That'll be over the moon. I just think with a rookie QB, I think you're just going to see him try and get the ball out of his hands as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
Chenault's the type of guy who can just make a play. And
4,200 is a nice price.
Yeah.
Liam, what are we looking at, mate?
Deontay Johnson, 5K. It's so hard to ignore at this price. It's the first time this season he's not on the injury report.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's such a nice thing.
And when he's played the full 3 games, he's actually averaged 20.9 DK points.
Yeah.
He was traveling to the fancy carnival in Dallas, who are just terrible defending anything. Obviously, I know you guys said about the rushing, but I think it's too good to ignore this. But I think I'm going to play in most places and risk it.
I like the price. He's 5,000.
Yeah, he's too cheap.
Yeah,
and last time he was too cheap, he balled out. So
exactly. Is there anybody else apart from Deontay?
No, not off the top of my head. No.
Okay. I have got Mr. Cole Beasley.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
Love Cole Beasley.
The Beazles.
The Beazles. He's just, apart from last week 2 for 24, but before that he's just been really quite reliable. You're going to get double digits pretty much every single week. Against the Seahawks, and we've mentioned the Seahawks defense.
Yeah.
I don't mind the price of 5,400. I think he could have a good game this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's helped that John Brown's not been fully healthy / injured. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out this week. But it's a good play on the basis. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got two real cheap ones. I won't go into much detail about them, but one of them is Marvin Hall. Kenny Galladay's out. You've just got to hope Matt Stafford's playing. He's a deep threat. Marvin Hall I think he was with the Falcons last year or the year before, one of the two. And he'd always pop up with a deep ball from the quarterback. So at the price he's at, which is 3,800, I think he's a real punt. And another one is going up against the Falcons. It's KJ Hamler. He is 3,400. He's seeing a steady 3 to 5 targets a game, and it's the Falcons who are shite on defense. So, we played better last week. I'm still going to point that out. If you're looking to kind of save a bit of money elsewhere and chuck in a cheap wide receiver who could get you, 50, 60 yards and a touchdown, maybe, I don't mind KJ Hamler. Tight ends, Rich. Who have you got?
I'm ready to be hurt again. Logan Thomas.
Oh my.
Rich,
You love him.
I am with you, Rich.
It's like every single time I'm off him, he goes, "Oh yeah, no, I can't play. Look, I score."
I'm with you on this.
Facing the Giants, who he managed to score a touchdown against. I mean, I don't love it, but like, I just every time I'm like, "Oh no, I'm off it," then that's when he has catches a touchdown, which is all I'm needing really at that price.
Yeah.
So
3,700. It's nice. I quite like that.
Yeah. I just can't go there. It's the sort of thing with Brandon Cooks. Like, I've played him before.
You're not ready to get hurt.
Not yet.
I love the fact that he can't go for a Brandon Cooks or a Logan Thomas, but he'll quite happily go with Deontay Johnson every single week.
Every time I played him, he's done well. So I'm the I don't know. I'm the goodwill for Deontay Johnson, I suppose. So if I play him, you should play him.
Rich, anyone else, or is it just Logan Thomas that is filling your heart with joy?
I'm going to say Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
It's not a great matchup. I feel as though the ball has to go somewhere.
Who's throwing in the ball?
It's not a great matchup. That's the understatement of the century.
It is, but I feel like basically, if I'm the Dallas quarterback, I'm basically just thinking,
the biggest
get rid of this.
There'll be a lot of quick outs.
I'm literally going snap. There you go.
Yeah, quick out of bounds rather than quick outs to Dalton Schultz.
I'm not even looking. I'm just literally going bang. You catch it, or
and he's a big guy, Dalton Schultz. So you just even if you do look up, you're just going to see the biggest thing and throw at him.
Yeah, I literally feel as though Dalton Schultz has maybe in practice just been told, right, as soon as a snap happens, turn around. Don't even take a yard upfield. Just turn around and then try and fall backwards. And just pray.
Okay. How much is Schultz again? Let's have a look.
36.
36. Interesting. Yeah, I don't mind. He played all right, better last week, but yeah, the matchup is a bit.
But if you actually want a serious one, then where is it? Texans guy, Jordan Akins.
Jordan Akins. Yeah, I like him.
Oh, God.
3,300. I have to say it because Jonah James is going to.
I've been waiting for Jordan.
I was as well.
For
So
3 weeks. Yeah, I like Akins this week as well.
Yeah.
3,300. Is that someone we all really, really like?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow. So don't play him, everyone. He's bound to play shy.
He's the player of the week.
Oh God. Liam, who have you got?
So apart from Akins, Mike Gesicki. I know Rich disagrees on this one.
I want you two to have an argument. Go.
I'm not going to argue. I'm just I said to sit him in my weekly article. The reason being, I just can't get a sample size from 22 pass attempts.
And it's Tua.
It's 22 pass attempts he had last week, and Gesicki had 2 targets. I just can't put Gesicki in there.
That's okay. I can. So,
do you know what I mean? Like, I just can't do it. I feel as though there are better tight end plays this week than Gesicki, and I could be wrong. It could be like a blow up week for him, but I just
at the price. Do you know what? Now I want to hear your side, Liam, and I will make a decision.
Okay, so
I'll be the Supreme Court.
Okay, so the Dolphins have traded away Isaiah Ford to the Pats. that means that Gesicki is a slot receiver. The Arizona defense has been terrible against slot receivers all season. Samples, Crowder, and Lockett. And Gesicki's snaps have been 7.5% in the slot, just to add to him being a slot receiver. Tua, as you said, didn't look amazing, but if Gesicki's in the slot, then he's going to target him the most, a bit like the Schultz argument. And I just feel it's going to be a decent game. You know, they've averaged 47 receiving yards given up to tight position Arizona. And I feel for the price you're paying, which, in my opinion, isn't expensive, you're going to get a decent production for your price.
Okay. Interesting. Who do I rule in favour of? I thought both arguments were fantastic, but I'm ruling in favour of Rich.
I thought you were gonna go Liam.
No,
But
I'm
I don't
kind
think-
of. It's more the quarterback that's scaring me. It's just, as I say, it just don't have that sample size.
Jamie, do you mind if I just?
Really do amazing.
Jamie, do you mind if I just? I'm trying to get. I'm thinking. Liam feels confident about Gesicki.
Oh,
Gesicki versus Fant. Be a bet.
Yeah, happy to do that.
Let's do that.
oh,
Be a bet.
We're doing DK points, yeah?
yeah.
Do whatever points you want, mate.
Yeah, I'll do DK then.
Okay.
I'm just saying, because obviously your argument with Schultz, you know,
Yeah,
there's zero.
Look, I get it. The only issue, and do you know what? Next week I might say, yeah, Gesicki's a great play. The thing is, I just feel like I can't. Everyone was like raving about Tua. I just can't make a judgment on 22 pass attempts.
That's where I'm
Like,
at.
it's just not a big enough sample size.
I like
I'm
Gesicki this year, but
I suppose my argument is more of what's happened in the past between different games rather than what Tua's shown us, I suppose. So yeah, fair enough.
I think you're both right.
all right, Jamie, you're splintered.
Sitting on the fence now.
No, you're both right, but I kind of think that you can't really get a good gauge on Tua on 22 passes. That's kind of where I'm leaning. I like both of those guys, apart from Gesicki. I've got two that I quite like, and I'm just going to go every single week. Trey Burton. I don't care.
I knew it was going to be Trey Burton.
I don't give a shit who they're playing. This boy's sort of more rushing touchdowns than CEH, hasn't he?
Shotgun Trey Burton.
Or something like that. Yeah, I know Jack Doyle and Mo Alley-Cox are now both healthy. Didn't Jack Doyle catch a touchdown last week, I believe?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't care. If he's being used around the goal line, Trey Burton, at his price, which is 3,500, I really like him this week. And another one is Big Albert O. I'm not going to say his name. I did it. I did it last night. I'll have a go.
Remember the tip?
Yeah. No, I'm good. Your tip, Rich, is Albert Okwegbenam. That's what you're saying. Albert Okwegbenam. That's what I'm going with. Big Albert O. Yeah, he's going against the Falcons. Noah Fant is the tight end one there, but Drew Lock, Noah Fant played together in college at Mizzou. He's seen 7 targets against the Chiefs, 6 against the Patriots, and he only saw 1 last week, but he scored his first touchdown, and it was a lovely touchdown. I think they've got a good connection, and I think at 2,800, I think that's a smash play for me. Really is. Now, of all the tight ends, I really like him this week. Watch him do nothing like Darren Waller did last week, but yeah. Anyone else? What are your thoughts on Big Albert O?
Had him shortlisted, but once I saw his targets last week, I was quickly put off him. Yeah, I mean, at the price, it's hard to argue with it, right? But I think it's a pure tournament play for me.
Pardon?
A pure tournament play, so GPP.
Yeah. Rich, we all obviously prefer Fant, but
yeah, but it's not awful.
Thanks.
Like
that means a lot. That really does. All right, cool. That's me done on that. Let's go to DSTs. Liam, hit us up with Your value DST.
Well, I mean, they're not really value. But Washington is fourth highest defense, I believe, in the week. 3,400. Playing the Giants, kind of hoping to do better than their 4-point performance last time they played them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe they've got their full defensive line back, and Daniel Jones has shown he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league for fumbles and turnovers. So yeah, I'm taking a punt and hoping that they do better than last time.
Cool. Great trip you got.
I've got two. So Giants in the same game.
Okay, wow.
But I'm going cheap.
Yeah.
Right. So they're not awful. They had a decent outing against Washington last time round, and we've seen the Washington offense isn't all that great, apart from Logan Thomas, obviously, GOAT. They've found a way to get after the quarterback still. So
yeah, they have.
It's not terrible. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. My other
27,
one
yep.
is the Falcons.
Oh, one. Okay, that's my one. I'll let you go on it. The Falcons, yeah, go for it.
They might give up points, but they seem like they can play defense in that they can get after the quarterback, put them under a bit of pressure. We've seen Drew Lock, as I mentioned earlier when we were talking about value quarterbacks. He's not the greatest guy in the world.
Yeah,
it's the matchup that I like. The points opportunity.
Yeah.
He could be put under pressure by this Falcons defensive line. So they're bargain basement, but hey.
Yeah. Now the Falcons were mine at 2,500. Grady Jarrett in the interior is an absolute beast. The reason I like him, it's Drew Lock. He's prone to errors. He hasn't, as I said, he's played 7 awful quarters and 1 good quarter in 2 games. So yeah, 2,500. I don't hate him as much as I hate him in real life, obviously. Should we go on to our stacks?
Yeah.
Rich?
You starting with me?
I'm starting with you. Yeah.
Okay, so we could go like the expensive, like not standard stack. We kind of ran through it, right? You could either go like Wilson and Lockett or Allen and Diggs.
Yep.
Me, sometimes I like to go balls out. So you could go triple stack with Watson, Cooks, and Akins.
Yep, that's one of mine. Yeah, I love it. And that totals in 16.6, which is a nice price.
There you
I
go.
like that. I like. And what else have you got?
That was it. Like,
yeah.
Okay. Like if you ask my wife, she'll tell you like I'm basically just one
and done.
Later.
Yeah. What about you, Liam?
Rich kind of said mine. I don't really like any of the cheap stacks this week, so I was paying that for my guys. So Wilson, Lockett, and Allen and Diggs. And if you want to add Cole Beasley onto it, then add Cole Beasley onto it.
Cool. I've got one. I had 2. One was Watson, Cooks, and Akins, if you wanted to. My other one is Herbert, Keenan Allen. That's a lovely stack at 13,800. And if you're feeling a little bit juicy, you can add Justin Jackson into that, and it comes to 18.7. So the triple stack of Herbert, Allen, and Jackson, I think, could be quite nice this week.
Nice.
Lovely jubbly. Let's go on to play our player of the week. What was your player of the week last week, Liam? Can you remember?
Derrick Henry, I believe.
Yeah.
Did okay, not amazing.
Yeah, my play was Darren Waller. Let's hope it's slightly better this week for me. Liam, you can start us off, mate. What's your player of the week?
I really want to say Mike Gesicki, just rub it in Rich's face when he gets 20 points. No, I'm going to Tyler Lockett, 6,800. It's too cheap.
Yeah.
Don't know why it's that cheap.
Yeah, it's a nice price. Rich, what about you?
James Conner.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. Mine is Brandon Cooks at 5,500 going against the Jags. At the price, I really, really like him this week. Yeah, Fuller's the main guy there, but I think Cooks could have a lovely week again. Right.
Are we about to talk lineups now?
We are about to talk lineups, but I think we kind of need to talk about what happened last week in our kind of heads up little competition.
What did happen? I didn't really look.
It was close to me and you, I think.
Yeah, it was really close to seeing you two. I'm looking at my team, and all I'm seeing is like those. You kind of know these little frosty symbols next to all the players.
Yeah, I'm quite familiar with them. Yeah.
Every single one of my players had a frosty symbol. Derek Carr, Kareem Hunt, Lev Bell, Adam Thielen, Cole Beasley, AJ Green, Darren Waller, AJ Brown, and the Patriots. I scored 65.88 points.
That sounds very much like
impressive.
one of my lineups.
Yeah. Rich, you came second, mate. Close.
Yeah. I went Taylor, didn't I? Thought, yeah, that'd be a good pick.
You went Herbert, Taylor, Jamal Williams, Ayuk, Keenan Allen, Henry
When
Ruggs.
Ruggs was the role of the dots.
Jimmy Graham, T. Higgins, and the Colts defense. He's got 126.92 points.
Yeah.
Liked it. And Liam won with 130.74 points. And he went with Aaron Rodgers, Derek Henry, Myles Gaskin, Devontae Adams, Cole Beasley, MVS, Jonnu Smith, Lev Bell, and the Dolphins DST. So, we've Liam's won the last 2 weeks.
Well, I'm going to do my team first. I'm telling you that.
I love that. I love the kind of confidence in it. Smash your team out, mate.
This isn't like a confidence thing. This is just I'm going full balls.
Okay. Who have you got?
Russell Wilson and quarterback.
Nice.
Running backs, James Conner, David Johnson.
Ooh.
Wide receiver, Keenan Allen, Tyler Lockett, and Chenault.
Ooh.
Tight end, Aikens. Flex, Logan Thomas.
Oh, God.
And the DST of the Steelers.
Thomas Flex.
I like the 2 tight end.
I'm going double tight end because I feel like both of them are going to be okay. And that means I can have Allen, Lockett, Connor, and Wilson in my lineup.
Yeah.
Full balls.
Like it. Liam, hit us with your lineup.
So Josh Allen QB, running backs Dalvin Cook, Justin Jackson, wide receivers Stephon Diggs, Tyler Lockett, Cole Beasley, tight end Jordan Akins, same as Rich, flex Darnell Mooney, and then Houston Texans defense.
Interesting. I like that. Going different on the defense.
Yeah.
Hey, that could work out.
Well, it's Jake Luton, so or Luton, I know you want to call him. So
yeah. Right, I'll go with my team. It's Deshaun Watson, Dalvin Cook, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Brandon Cooks, Cole Beasley, Deontay Johnson, Albert O, Justin Jackson, and the Steelers DST. So Deontay Johnson's obviously getting injured and going to be out after like the 3rd play of the game.
Hopefully not.
It's nice that we've got a couple of players that are similar in between the teams, but I think there's a fair bit of variety there. And I like all 3 lineups, if I'm honest. I might be stealing one of those lineups and chucking them in a couple of competitions.
Yeah, feel free. I mean, Logan Thomas is going to smash it, so I can understand why you want that. So.
Was Logan Thomas your player of the week?
No.
Why?
Because it's James Conner.
Yeah, but I think you should have a 1A and 1B if you're so high on.
You said my player of the week, not my plays. I'm just answering the questions you're asking. Like, it's not my fault if it's a bad question.
Don't be a petulant little child, Rich.
It's not my fault if it's a bad question, you know?
Right, there's plenty of them on here.
I'm going to do like a Donald Trump thing. Like, bad question.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news.
You are fake news.
Right. Okay. So we've run through the players we like, the stacks we like, our player of the week, and also the lineup. One of the lineups we're going to be playing this week. Liam, where can we find you on the socials on Twitter?
Yeah, so Twitter is at Dolphin Abroad. Do all the DFS stuff on Rich's website, so at King Fantasy Sports, and then do my betting at Dolphin Abroad at WordPress.com. That's me.
Cool. And Rich, where can people find you?
You can find me at kfantasy_sports or Rich King FF.
And your website?
KingFantasySports.com. Liam already mentioned it, but
I know, but I wanted a double dip. It's good, mate. It's good. You can find me on my personal account at Jamie_Byrom, BYROMKM at the end of Kickers Matter, and at Season Long DFS is the SLD Twitter handle, and the website is www.seasonlongdfs.com. Any exciting plans for this weekend, guys, or just the usual?
Yeah, the usual. To watch Mike Gesicki get ball out on Sunday, so that'd be nice.
Are you watching highlights from?
he's watching all of the previous plays from his career.
No, I hope Gesicki has a good week. I hope Logan Thomas has a good week. But I hope Albert O has a better week.
Yeah, I mean, hope's a beautiful thing.
I know. We can all have hope. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, lads. And enjoy your weekend. Let it be filled with lots of money being won on DraftKings. I will see you. Well, I won't see you. I'll speak to you later on, probably. Peace out.
Peace out.
See ya.